FYF Sports, man, it's Lamont. We back with another podcast video, man. Today I wanted to touch on the topic, man, just because I keep seeing this team. I just keep seeing this team pop up on my feed. I go chime in on live debates and I hear people talking about this team. And it just made me do my research. It just made me do my research and what's really going on. And we're going to be talking about the New York Knicks today and the black cat that's just running around that organization. It's just sad. It's just sad. You know, it's supposedly the Mecca of basketball has now become a place that no one wants to even be associated with when it comes to basketball. We need to really figure out why and what started this downward trend for the New York Knicks. Before we get started today, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. Got a lot of content coming out. Got a lot of news, got a lot of media, got live streams, got giveaways. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That's the only way you can stay up to date with the information that we're putting out. All right, but today, again, we're going to get right to it. I'm not going to waste no time. We got to talk about the New York Knicks. And, you know, just recently, like, you know, if you're a younger fan and you've been following the Knicks, let's say over the last 5 years, I mean, you're probably laughing at this team. Some of the draft picks that they made, some of the free agent signings that they made. I mean, and even when they make the right signings, guys like Amari Stoudemire, that was a great signing at the time, but then the black cat running around the organization hits him with the injury bug, and he never pans out to be the same. I mean, you literally trade everything you have. You trade every young piece, every talented player that you have to bring in Carmelo Anthony. You guys struggle. You guys grit and grind to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, only to lose to the Indiana Pacers. I mean, this team has just had that black cat running around the organization for years and years on end. The Knicks are starting to feel like they're the Chicago Cubs of basketball. I mean, just become perennial losers. That team is having no signs of life, no signs of hope from ownership on down. I mean, this year, everybody's saying bringing in Wild West and bringing in all these other guys in that front office is gonna make things better. I still haven't seen anything. I mean, the only thing that I've seen come out of New York so far is that they signed Jordan Bell, which absolutely makes no sense at all, or traded for him or something like that. Like, why is Jordan Bell associated with your franchise? I don't know. But that's the last thing that you need is a player like Jordan Bell on your roster. But what we want to identify today is what started this downward trend. I mean, we can look back at NBA history with regards to the we can look back on NBA history with regards to the New York Knicks. We see that they lost in 7 games to the Rockets. Patrick Ewing choked and blew a wide open layup that could have gave them the win. We see that they made the NBA Finals as a 7 seed or 8 seed. Then they got blown out by the Spurs. I mean, nothing really respectable, but I think it was this moment right here. That's why I pulled up this video. I think it was this moment right here where the black cat entered this franchise's organization, and that black cat still hasn't left, man. So what I want to do is for all my Knick fans out there, all my so-called Carmelo Anthony fans, anybody who's fans of this particular organization, what I need to do is I need to revisit this moment for you guys to give you guys a reminder of when all this started and who the real person is to blame for some of the failures in your organization. This is who you need to be blaming. This is the person. This is the person right here. This is the game that started this downward trend. It wasn't Spike Lee. It wasn't some of these. That wasn't LeBron James. You know, you guys want to blame LeBron for everything. This is the main reason why your franchise has been garbage. And what you guys got to do is what you need to do is you need to be honest about this moment right here. You need to address it and you need to accept it so that you can move on from it. Because if you don't, then it's just going to continue to haunt you, and your organization is going to continue to be trash. But what we're going to do is we're going to look back on time. We're gonna look back on the game where Reggie Miller scored 8 points in 9 seconds versus the Knicks in 1995. And Man, it's sad right here. But you know, we're going to go ahead and check this moment out. We're going to allow the video to play. We're going to come back. We're going to chop it up about what we just saw. Let's get to the video.
We begin with the Knicks trying to stop the city's lost weekend.
Ooh. November 28th, 1969. The New York Knicks, going for a record 18th straight victory, are down by 5 to the Cincinnati Royals with 16 seconds to play. And they win. They score 6 in the final 16. And 25 years later, the game was still considered the greatest blitzkrieg comeback in NBA history. But on Sunday afternoon in New York, the Knicks topped themselves. Oh, how they topped themselves. And oh, how they wish they hadn't. Game 1 of round 2 against the Pacers. Spike's there, the little Spikester. Then guess who is also there? His friend Reggie, who gets swatted by Oakley. And then by Ewing. Reggie won for his first date, not a factor. Rick Smits without authority. The Duncan Dutchman living up to his name. Kind of a mild dunk. The game got chippy as it progressed. Smits, Greg Anthony chipped something right there. And then Ewing returns the favor. 2 minutes for elbowing. Patrick trying to pretend like he didn't do anything. 59 fouls, an NBA playoff record in the game. Then Mark Jackson behind the back dribble and out to Miller from way downtown. Bang. Pacers leading 73-67. Next possession, Rick Smits, the jumper. John Starks trying to push Reggie towards a TV career. Moments later, Antonio Davis gets hammered on the offensive board and a scuffle ensues. Your result? Let's put on the ref's mic, please.
We're ejecting Antonio. Wait a minute. Come here, Larry. We're ejecting Derek.
Larry's about to leave for UCLA or something. So Greg Anthony replaced Harper, and Anthony buries a 3. Anthony by 15, or the Knicks by 15. Anthony had 15. Under a minute left. Ewing to Mason, the layup, the foul. The Knicks by 6. Game over, right?
He does get it to Reggie, who squares. Boom, baby! And hits the 3 from the high left, cutting the New York lead in half. Pacers still need some help. Oh, he threw it away. Reggie for 3. Boom, baby! It's a tie ball game. Unbelievable!
Wait, you ain't seen nothing yet. They foul Starks. He misses both free throws. Ewing gets the rebound. Clear shot. He misses. And then they foul Miller on the rebound. Miller sinks both of them. He sinks both of them. The Knicks are down. Last chance. Greg Anthony, no one to go to. He comes not to praise the Pacers, but to be buried by them. Miller loves it. The Pacers and Reggie score 8 points in 18. And the Pacers pull out an amazing performance. Forget the Knicks and Royals at the Cleveland Arena in '69. This one was better, unless you were from New York, where the Mets, Rangers, and Knicks all coughed up big leagues in a span of 22 hours. Gah. And says Derek Harper, it looked like a choke, it smelled like a choke, and it felt like a...
Hey, there we have it right there, man. We got the Pacers with one of the most improbable comebacks in NBA history against the New York Knicks. I think this was the timestamp in history where the Black Cat entered the New York Knicks' organization, and things just never were the same after this. Again, they've had some minor successes, but nothing really to brag about. I mean, you know, when things look promising for this team, something usually happens to bring them back to earth. I think it's just sad, man. I think it's sad, and I think James Dolan he's at the top of it. And Knicks fans, I think you guys are one of the reasons why too, because when you sit back and talk to Knicks fans, there's some. I feel like New York Knicks fans are some of the most delusional fans. If you thought Dallas Cowboy fans, I know Stephen A. Smith is real big on going at Dallas Cowboy fans, but I think New York Knicks fans are more delusional. I think they're more delusional because they will really tell you that, you know, you'll sit back and you'll look at this Knicks roster, and New York Knicks fans will really tell you that Kevin Knox is next up. Kevin Knox is going to be a great player in the league. They will really tell you that Frank Ntilikina can take and make threes and is going to be a great player in this league. That's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you that Dennis Smith Jr. is going to suddenly turn it around. He's going to be that dude that everybody thought he was going to be. And that was a great trade, getting Porzingis out of there. I mean, you got to think, the best player that you guys have had in the last 20 years, or at least the most promising player that you've had in Porzingis, you trade him away for Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, you got Carmelo Anthony. You guys couldn't build around him. You guys had Allen Houston. His knees broke down on him. You know, you got to think. I mean, even if you go back and think back on Patrick Ewing, if you go back and think back on Patrick Ewing, the NBA, a lot of people say the NBA rigged that draft just to get the New York Knicks, just to allow them to get Patrick Ewing. You guys had all those years with Patrick Ewing and did nothing with it. All right, you guys had all those years with the great big man out of Georgetown, and the only thing y'all can say about his time in New York is that he couldn't win because of Michael Jordan. That's the only thing y'all can say. I think, like I said, I think it's starting to become pitiful. All the excuses that we hear from Knicks fans, you just got to start to accept it, that your organization is trash. It's hot garbage. The New York Knicks are perennial trash. They're starting to turn into Chicago Cubs of the NBA. And it's not even, and the thing is, it's not looking any better. It's not looking any better. I mean, even with the trade talks now, you know, even with all of the trade talks now, how you guys are saying that you're going to take on bad contracts, even if you take on all of these bad contracts, I don't think it's going to do anything for you. You guys don't have a winning culture. I mean, Kevin Durant said it best. Yeah, but you know, Kevin Durant said it best. He said nobody wants to go to New York. Nobody wants to go there because they're not winners. Nobody cares that New York is the Mecca of basketball anymore. I mean, it's even affecting teams like St. John's, all those teams in the New York area, that you know where when New York was supposed to be the place to play. Even Syracuse basketball isn't the same. Syracuse basketball is not the same. None of the New York college basketball teams are the same. All those teams are splitting up, going to different conferences. The Big East ain't even the same. I mean, the troubles of the New York Knicks, that black cat has trickled down into the NCAA. It's affected everything. It's crazy out there. I mean, the best thing that y'all got going is the Brooklyn Nets. And they don't even want to be considered as a part of New York. Sad, man. It's sad. You guys, you New Yorkers, man, y'all got to let go. Give up on this Nick thing. All right? You got to start buying into this new trends. Trying to build through the draft. Those days are over. You're not going to just build through the draft. You're actually going to have to go out there and do your due diligence and go sign some free agents. You're going to have to get a smarter GM in there that can actually finesse and make better trades. Set yourself up for the future. But whoever's been making the decision for you guys right now, they're absolutely terrible. And it's not just of late. I mean, this stems back into the 90s. Just trash all around. And you know, I hope this is something that you guys can rectify. It just doesn't look like I can look at, you know, it's sad when I can say that Atlanta Hawks have more promise than the New York Knicks. The Atlanta Hawks have more young talent and more promise than the New York Knicks. The Cleveland Cavaliers have more talent and promise right now than the New York Knicks. And when you're looking at this, that's sad. That's sad that I can say that. Teams like the Sacramento Kings have more talent and more promise than the New York Knicks. See, and I think that's because the NBA is no longer gifting these franchises draft picks and players and things of that nature. The days of the NBA gifting the New York Knicks team the #1 draft pick so they can go get another Patrick Ewing, that's over. Them days is over with now. All right, we see these picks going to New Orleans and these smaller market teams who are actually doing something with it, who are actually willing to build around a team, as opposed to allowing the nostalgia around the basketball community in their city to carry them. All right, so the Knicks fans, Knicks organization, you guys got a lot of work to do. And again, if you want to talk to me about it, we go live every day, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you don't agree with what I got to say, man, just come on over to our lives. We can chat. We can chop it up, and I can explain to you in detail why the Knicks are trash. All right, but I think you guys already know this. I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm just trying to identify where the downward trend started, and what you guys got to start to do to really realize and recognize what you need to do to make things better going forward in the future. And the first thing is you got to come to some form of acceptance over this loss right here. Stop making excuses for it. This is just unacceptable. 8 points in 9 seconds. You know, Reggie Miller was great, but 8 points in 9 seconds? And you talk about biggest choke jobs in NBA history. This is definitely one of them. All right, but hey, you guys, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the Knicks and the future of the Knicks. I mean, do they got promise? Do they got players that they can build around? I mean, I don't think they have one single player that they can build around. That the roster right now is complete trash. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments, what do you think the Knicks can do to kind of rebuild and start from scratch? Do they need to go into the OKC Thunder type build where they're just getting rid of everything, just collecting as many draft picks as possible and just starting from scratch? I mean, what do you think the Knicks should do to get better? Because as it stands right now, it looks like they're still on a downward spiral. It looks like that black cat is still running around the organization. It doesn't look like they're going to be getting better anytime soon. But hey, you never know. Hey, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. We're grinding to 20K. That's the next goal. 100K is the big goal. That's only going to happen with you guys. Make sure you continue to like, share all the videos, engage in all the content. And again, even if you disagree with us, we go live almost every day, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come in. We invite everybody in, whether you agree with us, whether you disagree. And if you have something to say, we're going to give you a platform to say it, uninterrupted. And if it's still contested, we can put you in a head-to-head live debate with anybody on the panel. All right, we could, and then you can debate for the cash prize. All right, so again, we reward you for being able to come in, argue your case, and actually give sufficient evidence to back your case. So we appreciate that. Hey, but it's FYF Sportsman. It's been another great video, and we out.
OG King.